Let's begin by offering our respects to ISKCON founder Acharya and our preeminent Shiksha Guru, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Itti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchakalpataruvyaschа kripa sindhuvya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Namo Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Okay, so we welcome all of you to our weekly Krishna book classes. We have with us here today Kamala Nandini Mataji, Auntie Neeta, Aja, Divina, Divya, Durga Prasad, Hari Kumar Ishwaran, Joli Nandwani, Anjali Karnani. We have Karuna Jadwani, Lavina Ramchandani, Lavina Dadlani, Meenakshi, N.C. Venkatchari. We have Naresh Budrani. Then my husband is there. My parents are there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani. We have Shreya Kalaria, Swapna Latkar, Upasna, Vivansh, and we have Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Okay. So in the previous class, we saw the Stephen.
Dhenukasura.
Dhenukasura.
And who killed?
Dhenukasura.
Balaram.
Balaram ji killed Dhenukasura, no? And today we will see a demon who was not killed, neither by Krishna nor by Balaram. We saw in the previous chapter how the foundation was already laid about the chapter that is coming up next, no? We got a sneak preview of what is coming up next. So we already know that that demon is
Kāliya.
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 So what happens is Maharaj Parikshit is inquiring from Sukadeva Goswami, how come Kāliya has been living in the water of Yamuna for so many yugas, no? For Bahu Yugavasam, he says. Bahu Yugavasam. He's residing in that lake for so many yugas. So how come that is happening? And therefore then this story is being narrated in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Chapter 16 is titled Subduing Kāliya.
Kāliya.
Because Kāliya was subdued, he was not killed. So let's refresh our memory. In the last portion of the previous chapter, we saw this. Because the water was so poisonous, the boys and cows became visibly affected immediately after drinking. They suddenly fell down on the ground, apparently dead. Then Krishna, who is the life of all that lives, simply cast his merciful glance over them, and all the boys and cows regained consciousness and began to look at one another with great astonishment. So this we saw in the previous chapter, how Krishna revives his friends and the cows who were apparently dead. So chapter 16 starts here. When he understood that the water of the Yamuna was being polluted by the black serpent Kāliya, Lord Krishna took action against him and made him leave the Yamuna and go elsewhere, and thus the water became purified. When the story was being narrated by Sukadeva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit became eager to hear more about Krishna's childhood pastimes. He inquired from Sukadeva Goswami how Krishna chastised Kāliya, who had been living in the water for many years. Actually, Maharaj Parikshit was becoming more and more enthusiastic to hear the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, and his enquiry was made with great interest. So, as we have discussed previously also, how hearing, no, one should have enthusiasm to hear more and more about the pastimes of the Lord, about the glories of the Lord. Because just by hearing one becomes purified. And also how all these pastimes and glorifications of the Lord and the devotees of the Lord are transcendental subject matters, no? So they are evergreen. One does not get bored. It's not like reading a material book. Once you read a novel, any materialistic books, any fiction, then you read it once and then you don't want to read it again, no? But Shastra or the pastimes of Krishna are so captivating that you read over and over again, and they will seem evergreen and ever fresh. So here Maharaj Parikshit is enthusiastic. He wants to hear more, and also Sukadeva Goswami is very happy to narrate these pastimes to Maharaj Parikshit. Sukadeva Goswami narrated the story as follows. Within the river Yamuna, there was a great lake, and in that lake, the black serpent Kāliya used to live. Because of his poison, the whole area was so contaminated that it emanated a poisonous vapor 24 hours a day. If a bird happens to even pass over the spot, it would immediately die and fall down into the river. Due to the poisonous effect of the Yamuna's vapors, the trees and grass near the bank of the Yamuna had all dried up. Lord Krishna saw the effect of the great serpent's poison. The whole river that ran before Vrindavan was now deadly. Krishna, who invented himself just to kill all undesirable elements in the world, immediately climbed up into the big Kadamba tree on the bank of the Yamuna. The Kadamba is a tree bearing round yellow flowers that is generally seen only in the Vrindavan area. After climbing on top of the tree, he tightened his belt and, slapping his arms just like a wrestler, jumped into the midst of the poisonous lake. The Kadamba tree from which Krishna jumped was the only tree there which was not dead. Some commentators say that due to being touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, the tree immediately became alive. In some other Puranas, it is stated that Garuda, the eternal carrier of Vishnu, knew that Krishna would take this action in the future, and so he put some nectar on this tree to preserve it. When Lord Krishna jumped into the water, the river overflooded its banks to a distance of 100 yards, as if something very large had fallen into it. This exhibition of Krishna's strength is not at all uncommon because he is the reservoir of all strength. So here you can see this is the Kadamba flower. Very, very beautiful. And these flowers then give way to the fruit. And this tree here is actually this is the original tree from which Krishna jumped into the Yamuna. If you go to Vrindavan, you can go to Kāliya Ghat and there you can see this tree which is still existing. When Krishna was swimming about just like a great strong elephant, he made a tumultuous sound which the black serpent Kāliya could hear. The tumult was intolerable for him, and he could understand that this was an attempt to attack his home. Therefore, he immediately came before Krishna. Kalia saw that Krishna was indeed worth seeing because his body was so beautiful and delicate. Its color resembled that of a cloud, and his feet resembled lotus flowers. He was decorated with Srivatsa jewels and yellow garments. He was smiling with a beautiful face and was playing in the river Yamuna with great strength. But in spite of Krishna's beautiful features, Kalia felt great anger within his heart, and thus he grabbed Krishna with his mighty coils. So when Krishna had entered the river, when he had entered the Yamuna, he swirled his arms and he was making the water resound. And by that sound, Kalia realized that there is someone in the lake and he thought there is a trespasser. Somebody is trespassing over his own private property who has come to his house, and that Kalia was not able to tolerate. And Krishna looked very, very beautiful. His body was.
9 years of age.
And he engaged, and although he was so beautiful, and Kalia saw the beauty of Krishna, but still he was not able to appreciate the beauty of Krishna because he was very, very angry. So Krishna appeared to Kalia just the opposite. And he wrapped him in his coils. Seeing the incredible way in which Krishna was enveloped in the coils of the serpent, the affectionate cowherd boys and other inhabitants of Vrindavan immediately became stunned out of fear. They had dedicated everything to Krishna. Their lives, property, affection, activities, everything was for Krishna. And when they saw him in that condition, they became overwhelmed with fear and fell down on the ground. All the cows, bulls, and small calves became overwhelmed with grief, and they began to look at him with great anxiety. Out of fear, they could only cry in agony and stand erect on the bank, unable to help their beloved Krishna. So they were all so shocked to see Krishna enveloped in the coils of Kāliya. They were standing there, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that they were so shocked that they wanted to cry. There were tears in the eyes, but the tears were not coming out of their eyes. No, they were so shocked to see Krishna in the coils of Kāliya. While the scene was taking place on the bank of the Yamuna, there were ill omens manifest. The earth trembled, meteors fell from the sky, and the left side of men's bodies shivered. All these are indications of great immediate danger. Observing the inauspicious signs, the cowherd men, including Maharaj Nanda, became very anxious out of fear. At the same time, they were informed that Krishna had gone to the pasturing ground without his elder brother Balaram. As soon as Nanda and Yashoda and the cowherd men heard this news, they became even more anxious. Out of their great affection for Krishna and being unaware of the extent of his potencies, they became overwhelmed with grief and anxiety because they had nothing dearer than Krishna and because they had dedicated their everything, life, property, affection, mind, and activities to Krishna. Because of their great attachment for Krishna, they thought, today Krishna is surely going to be vanquished. So on this particular day, Krishna had gone without his elder brother Balaram. Most of the time he would go with Balaram, but sometimes he would take the cows for pasturing without Balaramji. And therefore, this is one of those occasions when Balaramji has not accompanied Krishna. And you can see that three types of fearful omens have manifested. No, from the sky, meteors were falling. There were earthquakes on the earth, and even the bodies of the residents of Vrindavan, there were ill omens manifesting. The bodies were shivering, and also the left eye was twitching. So these all ill omens were manifesting. So everybody thought that there is inauspiciousness. Now, one may question how come there is any inauspicious when Krishna is present? No, because wherever there is Krishna, then there is no question of any inauspiciousness. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains in his commentary that out of affection for Krishna and his Madhurya mood, because Krishna, there are two aspects to Krishna. One is the sweetness and one is his opulence. So one is the Madhurya and one is his Aishwarya, sweetness and opulence. So so when such things happen, then the sweetness is more enhanced. In Vrindavan, the sweetness aspect of Krishna completely overshadows the opulence of Krishna. So out of affection for Krishna and out of affection for the Madhurya mood of Krishna, the demigods, they wanted to cover Krishna's opulence. They wanted to cover his Aishwarya. And therefore, they produce this omens indicating misfortune for Krishna. But actually, wherever there is Krishna, there is no question of any inauspiciousness. I saw a hand raised. Is there any hand raised?
Yeah, it was me, Mataji, but you answered the question about Krishna. How can, when there's Krishna, how can we inauspicious?
Okay. All the inhabitants of Vrindavan came out of the village to see Krishna. The assembly consisted of children, old men, women, animals, and all living entities. They knew that Krishna was their only means of sustenance. While this was happening, Balaram, who is the master of all knowledge, stood there simply smiling. He knew how powerful his younger brother was and that there was no cause for anxiety when Krishna was fighting with an ordinary serpent of the material world. He did not, therefore, personally take any part in their sorrow. On the other hand, all the inhabitants of Vrindavan, being disturbed, began to search out Krishna by following the impression of his footprints on the ground, and thus they moved hastily toward the bank of the Yamuna. Finally, by following the footprints marked with flag, bow, and conch shell, the inhabitants of Vrindavan arrived at the river bank and saw that all the cows and boys were weeping to behold Krishna enwrapped in the coils of the black serpent. Then they became still more overwhelmed with grief. So we see Balaram here. Everybody is overwhelmed with grief, but Balaram is smiling. Balaram is smiling. He knows. Does he know that Krishna is not going to be affected by Kāliya?
Yes.
He knows, no? He knows. So therefore, Balaram is smiling, and our acharyas explain that Balaram was actually laughing because he thought that Balaram at this point, he's thinking that Krishna never cared to play with me in the form of Anantashesha. But here he's playing with this mundane snake, Kāliya. So therefore, Balaram is smiling / laughing. While Balaram was smiling to see their lamentation, all the inhabitants of Vrajabhumi merged into the ocean of grief because they thought that Krishna was finished. Although the residents of Vrindavan did not know much about Krishna, their love for him was beyond comparison. As soon as they saw that Krishna was in the river Yamuna enveloped by the serpent Kāliya, and that all the boys and cows were lamenting, they simply began to think of Krishna's friendship, his smiling face, his sweet words, and his dealings with them. Thinking of all these and seeing that their Krishna was now within the clutches of Kāliya, they at once felt that the three worlds had become vacant. Lord Chaitanya also said that he was seeing the three worlds as vacant for want of Krishna. This is the highest stage of Krishna consciousness. Almost all of the inhabitants of Vrindavan had the highest ecstatic love for Krishna. So nobody can surpass the residents of Vrindavan when it comes to loving Krishna. Nobody can love Krishna better than the residents of Vrindavan. So without Krishna, for them the whole world is empty, vacant. If Krishna is present, everything is present. If Krishna is absent, then nothing is present. When Mother Yashoda arrived, she wanted to enter the river Yamuna, and being checked, she fainted. Her friends, who were equally aggrieved, were shedding tears like torrents of rain or waves of the river. But in order to bring Mother Yashoda to consciousness, they began to speak loudly about the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Mother Yashoda remained still, as if dead, because her consciousness was concentrated on the face of Krishna. Nanda and all the other cowherd men who had dedicated everything, including their lives, to Krishna, were ready to enter the waters of the Yamuna. But Lord Balaram checked them because he was in perfect knowledge that there was no danger. So Nanda and all the other cowherd men, they wanted to go into the waters of Yamuna, but then Balaram prevented them. He physically held Nanda and others from jumping into the Yamuna. And Balaram actually tells them that he reminds them of what Gargamuni had said, no, when he had come for the name giving ceremony. He reminded them that Gargamuni had said that actually your son will save you from all the dangers. So remember what Gargamuni had said. And Balaram told him that if you jump and you drown into the Yamuna, then who will raise Krishna when Krishna returns? No. And also he reminds them that Gargamuni told you that you should take care of your son. So therefore now Balaram tells them all these things, and he physically restrains Nanda Maharaj from Nanda Maharaj and the other cowherd boys from entering into the lake. Shreya, you have your hand raised.
Yes. So this was happening in front of like all the Vrajvasis, like they could see the Kāliya serpent, or it was happening like underwater.
See, in the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, it is explained how within the river Yamuna, there is a lake, and in that lake there is an island, and on that island Krishna was held in the coils of Kāliya, and therefore the residents were able to see what was happening.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, Lavina, you have your hand raised.
How old was he at that time?
He has not yet reached 7 years.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome. Shailesh?
Just wanted to understand, he waits 2 hours for getting free when getting free for him was effortless. So
Yes.
was he waiting to make a point in front of the villagers?
Krishna likes to play. Krishna likes to play. So he's playing here. Okay. And I heard in another class, but I was not able to get a Shastric quote. So therefore I avoided saying it. But anyway, I'll tell you what I heard in a class. It was a class from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and he mentions that now Krishna is going to give his greatest dance performance. No, he's going to dance on the hoods of Kāliya. And Srimati Radharani has to come from Barsana. So he is wrapped up in the coils. So he's giving some time to Srimati Radharani to come there, and so that she can also see his greatest dance performance. Okay. So this I heard in another class. Okay, coming back to Krishna book. For 2 hours, Krishna remained like an ordinary child gripped in the coils of Kāliya. But when he saw that all the inhabitants of Gokul, including his mother and father, the gopis, the boys, and the cows, were just on the point of death, and that they had no shelter for salvation from imminent death, Krishna immediately freed himself. He began to expand his body, and when the serpent tried to hold him, he felt a great strain. On account of the strain, his coils slackened, and he had no alternative but to let loose the personality of Godhead Krishna from his grasp. Krishna then became very angry, and Kāliya then became very angry, and his great hoods expanded. He exhaled poisonous fumes from his nostrils. His eyes blazed like fire, and flames issued from his mouth. The great serpent remained still for some time, looking at Krishna. Licking his lips with bifurcated tongues, the serpent looked at Krishna with double hoods, and his eyesight was full of poison. Krishna immediately pounced upon him, just as Garuda sweeps upon a snake. Thus attacked, Kāliya looked for an opportunity to bite him, but Krishna moved around him. As Krishna and Kāliya moved in a circle, the serpent gradually became fatigued and his strength seemed to diminish considerably. Krishna immediately pressed down the serpent's hoods and jumped up on them. The Lord's lotus feet became tinged with red from the rays of the jewels on the snake's hoods. Then he who was the original artist of all fine arts, such as dancing, began to dance upon the hoods of the serpent, although they were moving to and fro. Upon seeing this, the denizens of the upper planets showered flowers, beat drums, played different types of flutes, and sang various prayers and songs. In this way, all the denizens of heaven, such as the Gandharvas, Siddhas, and demigods, became very pleased. So just imagine the good fortune of Kāliya. Krishna's feet are on his hoods. Very, very fortunate. So see here, Krishna is the original artist of all fine arts. There are 16 kalas, 16 fine arts. And Krishna is the master of all the fine arts. And here he is going to show how there is no better dancer than Krishna. See, Krishna is dancing on the hoods of Kāliya. The surface is slippery. No, it is not even an even ground. How many people can dance on a ground that is not flat? No, uneven ground, and also it is slippery on top of that. And it's a serpent, great serpent who's spitting poison. So who can do it other than Krishna?
Nobody.
Yes. While Krishna was dancing on his hoods, Kāliya tried to push him down with some of his other hoods. Kāliya had about 100 hoods, but Krishna took control of them. He began to dash Kāliya with his lotus feet, and this was more than the serpent could bear. Gradually, Kāliya was reduced to struggling for his very life. He vomited all kinds of refuse and exhaled fire. While throwing up poisonous material from within, Kāliya became reduced in his sinful situation. Out of great anger, he began to struggle for existence and tried to raise one of his hoods to kill the Lord. The Lord immediately captured that hood and subdued it by kicking it and dancing on it. It actually appeared as if the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, was being worshipped. The poisons emanating from the mouth of the serpent appeared to be like flower offerings. Kāliya then began to vomit blood instead of poison. He was completely fatigued. His whole body appeared to be broken by the kicks of the Lord. Within his mind, however, he finally began to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he surrendered unto him. He realized that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the Master of everything. So here is the reason why Kāliya was not killed, because he surrendered to Krishna. He surrendered to Krishna. Initially, Kāliya was vomiting poison. Poison was emanating from his hoods. And as the poison came out, finally now what is coming out?
Blood.
Vomiting blood. He is vomiting blood. So all the poison has now gone from his body. All the poison has gone, and now he is vomiting blood. So now he has realized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has realized that this opponent is not an ordinary person. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. The wives of the serpent, known as the Nagapatnis, saw that their husband had been subdued by the Lord's kicking and that he was almost at the point of death due to bearing the heavy burden of the Lord, within whose abdomen the whole universe remains. Kāliya's wives prepared to worship the Lord, and in their haste their clothes, hair, and ornaments became disarrayed. They also surrendered unto the Supreme Lord and began to pray. They appeared before him, put forward their offspring, and anxiously offered respectful obeisances, falling down on the bank of the Yamuna. The Nagapatnis knew that Krishna is the shelter of all surrendered souls, and they desired to release their husband from the impending dangers by pleasing the Lord with their prayers. So the Nagapatnis, or the wives of Kāliya, they are devotees, and now they want to save their husband. So one may ask, why didn't they do this before? Why did they wait that Kāliya is almost at the verge of death, and his body is aching, he's completely fatigued, and he's completely down and out, he's almost on the verge of death. Why did they wait for so long to offer these prayers, and why did they not try to save their husband before so long? So what do you think is the reason?
Maybe they thought that Kāliya is powerful and will defeat Krishna.
Surrender. I think the reason is surrender. They were waiting for Kāliya to surrender to Krishna.
They were waiting for Kāliya to surrender to Krishna. Very nice.
They wanted all the poisons would come out.
They wanted all the poison should come out. So they wanted that Kāliya comes to that realization, no? They want Kāliya
Yeah.
to come to that. Because remember, Nagapatnis, they are devotees. Because they are devotees, they are, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains in his commentary that they are thinking that actually this person is better that he is killed by Krishna because of his viciousness, no? Because he is a demon. And therefore they are thinking that let him be killed. It's good for him that he is killed by Krishna, and we will live the rest of our lives by serving Krishna. So therefore the Nagapatnis were thinking like that. But when they saw that their husband is now coming to the realization that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then now they want to save. Now they want to save their husband. So remember that the Nagapatnis, they are devotees. They are devotees. The Nagapatnis began to offer their prayers as follows. So now they start to offer prayers to Krishna. My dear Lord, you are equal to everyone. For you, there is no distinction between your sons, friends, or enemies. Therefore, the punishment which you have so kindly offered to Kāliya is exactly befitting. O Lord, you have descended especially for the purpose of annihilating all kinds of disturbing elements within the world. And because you are the absolute truth, there is no difference between your mercy and your punishment. We think, therefore, that this apparent punishment of Kāliya is actually some benediction. We consider that your punishment is your great mercy upon us, because when you punish someone, it is to be understood that the reactions of his sinful activities are eradicated. It is already clear that this creature, appearing in the body of a serpent, must have been overburdened with all kinds of sin. Otherwise, how could he have been the body of a serpent? Your dancing on his hoods has reduced all the sinful results of actions caused by his having this body of a serpent. It is therefore very auspicious that you have become angry and have punished him in this way. We are very much astonished to see how you have become so much pleased with this serpent, who evidently performed various religious activities in his past lives that pleased everyone. He must have undergone all kinds of penances and austerities, humbly honored others, and executed universal welfare activities for all living creatures. See, the Nagapatnis, when they start to offer prayers, they are not angry at Krishna. No, they are not chastising Krishna. They are not lamenting the position of Krishna, lamenting the position of their husband, and they are not saying, "Oh Krishna, why did you do this to my husband?" No, they are glorifying Krishna. They are glorifying Krishna, and they are saying that what you have done is apt, is very appropriate. And also, they are not making any distinction between Krishna's punishment and Krishna's mercy. They are equating the two. No, there is no difference between Krishna's mercy and Krishna's punishment. When Krishna punishes, that is also Krishna's mercy only. So they are saying that what you have done to our husband is your mercy only. Yeah, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
The passage that the Krishna Patnis are saying to Krishna,
Yes.
one doesn't understand whether they are saying to save their husband or because they are devotees to Krishna.
They are both.
What? Okay.
Both. Yes. The Nagapatis, was there another hand raised? No. Okay. The Nagapatnis confirm that one cannot come in contact with Krishna without having executed pious activities in devotional service in his previous life. As Lord Chaitanya advised in his Shikshastaka, one has to execute devotional service by humbly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street, and not expecting honor for himself, but offering all kinds of honor to others. The Nagapatis were astonished that although Krishna had the body of a serpent, although Kāliya had the body of a serpent, as a result of grievous sinful activities, at the same time he was in contact with the Lord to the extent that the Lord's lotus feet were touching his hoods. Certainly, this was not the ordinary result of pious activities. These two contradictory facts astonished them. Thus, they continued to pray, "O dear Lord, we are simply astonished to see that he is so fortunate as to have the dust of your lotus feet on his head. This is a fortune sought by great saintly persons. Even the goddess of fortune underwent severe austerities just to have the blessing of the dust of your lotus feet. So how is it that Kāliya is so easily getting this dust on his head? We have heard from authoritative sources that those who are blessed with the dust of your lotus feet do not care even for the highest post within the universe, namely the post of Lord Brahma, or the kingship of the heavenly planets, or the sovereignty of this planet. Nor do such persons desire to rule the planets above this earth, such as Siddhaloka, nor do they aspire for the mystic powers achieved by the yoga process, nor do the pure devotees aspire for liberation by becoming one with you. My Lord, although he is born in a species of life which is fostered by the most abominable mode of material nature, accompanied with the quality of anger, this king of serpents has achieved something very, very rare. Living entities who are wandering within this universe in different species of life can very easily achieve the greatest benediction only by your mercy. So, see, the Nagapatnis are continuing to offer prayers. And here we see how Lord Chaitanya in his Shikshastakam, he is giving us who can chant the Hare Krishna mantra. No? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is none other than Krishna himself, he is Lord Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, or he is the combined incarnation of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, who appeared some 500 years ago. We know that it was he who gave us this Hare Krishna mantra. Previously, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra was a secret mantra in the Vedas. Only the qualified people would receive it. But because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful incarnation of the Lord, therefore he opened up this mantra for anyone and everyone. It is an open mantra. It is not a secret mantra anymore. And he also, along with giving us the mantra, he also gave us the qualifications. Now, who can chant this mantra and in what mood we should chant? So if one is humble, humility is very, very important quality in spiritual life. So when we execute devotional service by humbly chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, so humility, and what kind of humility? You think oneself lower than the straw in the street. So the straw on the street, the grass, people trample on the grass and they go, but still they never protest. No, they are still there in this humble position. So one should think oneself lower than the straw in the street and not expect honor for oneself, but be ready to offer all kinds of honor to others. So when we chant the Hare Krishna in this mood, then we can very easily chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Otherwise, we will be struggling. Okay. And coming to this goddess of fortune, even the goddess of fortune underwent severe austerities just to have the blessing of the dust of your lotus feet. So how is it that Kāliya is so easily getting this dust on his head? For this detail, I'm going to leave a homework for you. After the class or before the next class, you can go to your Veda base, go to Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela chapter 9 and read verses 108 to 163. So this is homework for you, which you can do before we have the next class to see more details about how the goddess of fortune. Very, very interesting section this is actually, because Lakshmi Devi described how she wanted to enter the rasa dance also, but she was not allowed to be a part of the rasa leela. The gopis are more elevated than the goddess of fortune, so therefore she was said that she cannot enter the rasa dance like the gopis. See, this conversation in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is a conversation between Lord Chaitanya and a devotee called Venkata Bhatta. Venkata Bhatta is he was belonging to the Sri Sampradaya, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was touring South India, he happened to go to this particular place where he's there, and he stayed in the house of Venkatabhatta at that time. At that time, Venkatabhatta was, as I said, he belonged to the Sri Sampradaya, and he used to worship the deities of Lakshmi Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there, he developed good friendship. No, Sakhya Ras was developed between the two. And once jokingly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is conversing with Venkatabhat, and he tells him that why does your worshipable goddess of fortune, Sri Lakshmi Devi, abandon the happiness of Vaikuntha? Why is she abandoning the service to her Lord Narayan? Why does she go to Vrindavan, and why does she perform tapasya there? Why does she perform austerities in Vrindavan? And why she wants to gain the association of Gopal? Why she wants to associate with my Lord Gopal? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Venkatabhat, because Venkatabhatta is worshipping Lakshmi Narayan, no? So then this conversation happens between the two personalities. Very, very interesting. You can read this section. Slowly, gradually try to absorb and try to read. See, Shastra should be read like law books. Very slowly, gradually try to absorb, and then again you read and reread over and over again. This is how we should read Shastra. So this is homework for you. And very interestingly, Venkatabhatta, at that time, he had a son called Gopal. And Gopal very nicely would serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during that period of time. In fact, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to leave the place, everybody was shocked, and Gopal didn't want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to leave. And so he said, okay, I will stay for some more time. So like that, Gopal, 7-year-old Gopal had served Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely at that time, and he got a lot of affection from Mahaprabhu. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed him that later, when your parents depart, then you can go to Vrindavan and you can associate with Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, and you can write books, no? And that's exactly what he did. And later he became one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. If you see the disciplic succession, if you go to any ISKCON temple and you see the disciplic succession, the photo of the disciplic succession, you will have a photo of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So they are the illustrious 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. And then this 7-year-old Gopal became Gopal Bhatt Goswami. He became Gopal Bhatt Goswami. Okay, let's see. Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
But I thought that Radha was uh, Lakshmi, right? Is that wrong?
All the Lakshmis, all the goddess of fortune, all the wives of Krishna are all expansions of Srimati Radharani. They are all coming from Srimati Radharani. They are all expansions of Srimati Radharani. Even all the gopis of Vrindavan, they are also expansions of Srimati Radharani. Just as how from Krishna come all the other expansions, from Srimati Radharani come all the gopis, all the gods of fortune, all the wives of Krishna, all the queens of Dwarka. They are all coming from Srimati Radharani. That's why one of Srimati Radharani's name is Sarva Lakshmi. Sarva Lakshmi. She is the source of the goddesses of fortune. Okay. Durga Prasad, you have your hand raised.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Krishna.
How come that Nagapatnis became great devotees? As you mentioned, that snake body, because of so many sins, will get that body.
Yes, but they are still devotees. Maybe for some past sinful act, I don't know. But maybe for some past sinful activity, they got the body of a snake. But even in the body, like how Bharat Maharaj, he had a slight slip. He was in the body of a deer, but still he was a devotee. So even in the body of an animal, one can be a devotee. Just like Bharat Maharaj in the body of a deer was still a devotee. He remembered his past life. And he was still a devotee even though he had externally had the body of a deer. Okay?
Okay, Mataji. But that snake is very, very lower stage. No? That is, if they commit so much sins, they will get that body.
Yes, but see, one can be a devotee and then fall down. And because one is falling down, one gets a snake body. But then in the snake body, one can realize that, oh, I made this mistake. But that doesn't mean that all the thing that he did before he made that mistake, before he committed the sinful activities, he has some pious credit. So therefore, that thing is there. Now, once a devotee, always a devotee. Krishna will not let you go. We have seen that, right?
Yeah. Yes, Mother. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Upasana, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, actually, it's little confusing for me. One, yeah, when you do some sins, you get a snake body. But then again, Balaram is also is him. Like all the Nagas, they're like Balaram itself is like a serpent. So how we explain that?
Yeah, but Balaram's body of Ananta Shesha is not like the body of Kaliya. Kaliya's body is material. Balaram's body as Ananta
Okay.
Shesha is spiritual. Now, even the Lord comes as a hog. No, he comes as a hog when he comes as Varahadev. But that
Mm-hmm.
body is completely spiritual. The Lord can take any form that he likes. But
Mm-hmm.
that body is not like the materialistic body of these demons like Kaliya and the others. They are taking that form because they want to take that form. So Balaram, he expands as Ananta Shesha because he is providing the bed to Lord to lie down on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's his service. All the paraphernalia of Krishna, even the land of Vrindavan is an expansion of Balaram. Even the land of
Okay.
Vrindavan is, yeah, because that is Balaram's service. So as that Ananta Shesha, as that serpent also, he's providing a bed as service to the Lord. But that
Mm-hmm.
body is different from the body of Kaliya. Material body is different, spiritual body is different. Material body is subject to birth, death, disease, and old age. Spiritual body is not subject to
Mm-hmm.
birth, death, disease, and old age. Okay.
Okay.
Mataji, but material world also Nagadevata is there, na? She is also a material body,
Who?
but Nagadevata will do pujas and all, na? For Nagadevata, Naga Chavati, Naga Panchami.
Yeah.
But she is material body only.
Demigod body.
How to understand? Demigod, yes.
Yeah, so demigod body, they have a long, what do you call it? Long duration of life, extraordinary duration of life. And my understanding is that the devatas, they don't have old age and disease. There is only birth and death because their lifetime comes to an end. But you'll never see a photo of any devata like Indra or Lakshmi Devi or like there is no old age and there is no disease. It's not that they are going to get diabetes and cancer and things like that. But birth and death is there for the devatas. So demigod body also there is birth and death, just like Brahma there is. Does that answer your question?
Okay, Mataji, thank you.
Upasana, you have your hand raised?
No, sorry, I'm done. And that was my question.
Okay. Shreya?
Yes, so was Kalia related to Kamsa? Like, did Kamsa send him, or he just wanted to kill Krishna?
No, he didn't want to kill Krishna. He was just poisoning the waters of Yamuna. And then Krishna went into the Yamuna because he was poisoning the. Kalia didn't come there to kill Krishna. He's there in the waters of the Yamuna because of a clash he had with Garuda. So that story we will see next.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. It is confirmed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the living entities wandering within the universe in various species of life can get the seed of devotional service by the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master, and thus their path of liberation can be cleared. The Nagapatnis continued, "We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you, our dear Lord, because you are the Supreme Person who are living as the Supersoul within every living entity. Although you are transcendental to the cosmic manifestation, everything is resting in you. You are the personified, indefatigable, eternal time. The entire time force is existing in you, and you are therefore the seer and the embodiment of total time in the shape of past, present, and future, month, day, hour, moment, everything. In other words, O Lord, you can see perfectly all the activities happening in every moment, in every hour, in every day, in every month, in every year, past, present, and future. You are yourself the universal form, and yet you are different from this universe. You are simultaneously one with and different from the universe. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you. You are yourself the whole universe, and yet you are the creator of the whole universe. You are the superintendent and maintainer of this whole universe, and you are its original cause. Although you are present within this universe by your three qualitative incarnations, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, you are transcendental to the material creation. Although you are the cause of the appearance of all kinds of living entities, their senses, their lives, their minds, their intelligence, you are to be realized by your internal energy. Let us therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you, who are unlimited, finer than the finest, the center of all creation, and the knower of everything. Different varieties of philosophical speculators try to reach you. You are the ultimate goal of all philosophical efforts, and it is actually only you who are described by all philosophies and by different kinds of doctrines. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto you, because you are the origin of all scripture and the source of knowledge. You are the root of all evidences, and you are the supreme person who can bestow upon us the supreme knowledge. You are the cause of all kinds of desires, and you are the cause of all kinds of satisfaction. You are the Vedas personified. Therefore, we offer you our respectful obeisances. Our dear Lord, you are the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna, and you are also the supreme enjoyer. You have now appeared as the son of Vasudeva, who was a manifestation of the state of pure goodness. You are the predominating deities of mind and intelligence, Aniruddha and Pradyumna, and you are the Lord of all Vaishnavas. By your expansion as the Chatuvyuha, namely Vasudev, Sankarshana, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna, you are the cause of the development of mind and intelligence. By your activities only, the living entities become covered by forgetfulness and or discover their real identity. This is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter. The Lord is sitting as the super soul in everyone's heart, and due to his presence, the living entity either forgets himself or revives his original identity. We can partially understand that you are within our hearts as the witness of all our activities, but it is very difficult to appreciate your presence, although every one of us can do so to some extent. You are the supreme controller of both the material and spiritual energies. Therefore, you are the supreme leader. Although you are different from this cosmic manifestation, you are the witness and creator and the very ingredient of this cosmic manifestation. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you. See, sometimes when people engage in bad activities, for example, when somebody wants to rob, no, the robber, a thief, what he will do, he will look left and right and make sure nobody is watching him, and then he will rob, right? He does it, um, he doesn't make it obvious that he's stealing. So he's thinking that nobody is watching. But Krishna, as the super soul, he is a witness of our activities. We read here, no? See, he is within our hearts as a witness of all our activities. So actually, the Bhagavatam describes that there are 13 witnesses to all our activities. And of those 13 witnesses, the most important witness is the super soul. Because the super soul, Krishna as the Paramatma, he's right in our heart and he's watching our activities. So one should not think that nobody is watching me and I can do something wrong and I can get away with it. No, there are 13 witnesses, like the sky, the wind, the directions. I don't remember all 13 by memory, but I will share it in the group later. But of all those 13 witnesses, the super soul is the most important. Our dear Lord, in the matter of creating this cosmic manifestation, personally you have nothing to exert by expanding your different kinds of energy, namely the mode of passion, the mode of goodness, and the mode of ignorance. You create, maintain, and annihilate this cosmic manifestation. As a controller of the entire time force, you simply glance over the material energy, thereby creating this universe and energizing the different modes of material nature, which act differently in different creatures. No one can estimate, therefore, how your activities are going on within this world. So we have seen how simply by the glance, how the glance of Mahavishnu takes the form of Shambhu, and then the whole creation takes place. We have seen this in detail in the previous classes. Our dear Lord, although you have expanded into the three principal deities of this universe, namely Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, for creation, maintenance, and destruction, your appearance as Lord Vishnu is actually for the benediction of living creatures. Therefore, for those who are actually peaceful and who are aspiring after the supreme peace, worship of your peaceful appearance as Lord Vishnu is recommended. O Lord, we are submitting our prayers unto you. You can appreciate that this poor serpent is going to give up his life. You know that for us women, our husband is our life and everything. Therefore, we are praying unto you that you kindly excuse Kāliya, our husband, because if this serpent dies, then we shall be in great difficulty. Looking upon us only, please excuse this great offender. Our dear Lord, every living creature is your offspring, and you maintain every one. The serpent is also your offspring, and you can excuse him once, although he has offended you, undoubtedly without knowing your supremacy. We are praying that he may be excused this time. Our dear Lord, we are offering our loving service unto you because we are all eternal servitors of your Lordship. You can order us to do whatever you please. Every living being can be relieved from all kinds of despair if he agrees to abide by your orders. After the Nagapatni submitted their prayers, Lord Krishna released Kāliya from his punishment. Kāliya was already unconscious from being struck by the Lord. Upon regaining consciousness and being released from the punishment, Kāliya got back his life force and the working power of his senses. With folded hands, he humbly began to pray to the Supreme Lord Krishna. My dear Lord, I have been born in such a species that by nature I am angry and envious, being in the darkest region of the mode of ignorance. Your Lordship knows well that it is very difficult to give up one's natural instincts, although by such instincts the living creature transmigrates from one body to another. It is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita that it is very difficult to get out of the clutches of material nature. But if anyone surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the modes of material nature can no longer act on him. My dear Lord, Kāliya continued, you are the original creator of the modes of material nature by which the universe is created. You are the cause of the different kinds of mentality possessed by living creatures, by which they have obtained different varieties of bodies. My dear Lord, I am born as a serpent, therefore by natural instinct I am very angry. How is it then possible to give up my acquired nature without your mercy? It is very difficult to get out of the clutches of your Maya. By your Maya we remain enslaved. My dear Lord, kindly excuse me for my inevitable material tendencies. I surrender unto you. Now you can punish me or save me as you desire. So now you can see the beautiful realizations that Kāliya is having, how he's offering prayers. And it is also described how Krishna then put his hand on Kaliya's head and removed all the pain that his body was undergoing. So Krishna took away all the pain from Kaliya's body also. After hearing this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was acting as a small human child, ordered the serpent thus: you must immediately leave this place and go to the ocean. Leave without delay. You can take with you all your offspring, wives, and everything that you possess. Don't pollute the waters of the Yamuna. Let it be drunk by my cows and cowherd boys without hindrance. The Lord then declared that the order given to the Kāliya snake be recited and heard by everyone so that no one need fear Kāliya any longer. So, Krishna has given Kāliya the mercy. He is not going to kill him, but he is ordering him to leave the Yamuna so that the residents of Vrindavan can drink the water without any hindrance. Anyone who hears the narration of the Kāliya serpent and his punishment will need fear no more the envious activities of snakes. The Lord also declared, if one takes a bath in the Kāliya lake, where my cowherd boyfriends and I have bathed, or if one fasts for a day and offers oblations to the forefathers from the water of this lake, he will be relieved from all kinds of sinful reactions. The Lord also assured Kāliya, you came here out of fear of Garuda, who wanted to eat you in the beautiful land by the ocean. Now, after seeing the marks where I have touched your head with my lotus feet, Garuda will not disturb you. So, out of fear of Garuda only, Kāliya has come to this particular lake within the rivers of the Yamuna.
Yamuna.
But now Krishna is saying that now, because Garuda will be able to see my footprints on your heads, therefore now he will no longer disturb you. Yes, Shailesh, you have your hand raised.
Is this Kāliya lake still around?
It is within the river Yamuna. So river Yamuna is there. I don't know, the lake is still there. So it is also described here how if one offers oblations to the forefathers from the water of this lake. So by the river Yamuna also, the final rites are done for the ancestors. So Krishna is saying that if one offers oblations to the forefathers from the water of this lake, he will be relieved from all kinds of sinful reaction. The Lord was pleased with Kāliya and his wives. Immediately after hearing his order, the snake and his wives began to worship him with great offerings of nice garments, flowers, garlands, jewels, ornaments, sandal pulp, lotus flowers, and nice eatable fruits. In this way, they pleased the master of Garuda, of whom they were very much afraid. Then, obeying the orders of Lord Krishna, all of them left the lake within the Yamuna. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 16th chapter of Krishna, Subduing Kāliya. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
See, there is a description also that when the Nagapatnis offered Krishna the jewels and everything, they also gave the Kaustuba gem to Krishna amongst all the jewels. But actually, that Kaustuba gem Krishna was already wearing on his neck. No. But because Krishna likes to play, he likes to create excitement in his leelas. What Krishna did was when he was in the coils of Kāliya, he made that Kaustubha jewel fall apart, no? And he made that the jewel goes and is part of the other jewels that Kāliya and the Nagapatnis have. So when the Nagapatnis offered jewels to Krishna, they also offered this Kaustubha jewel, Kaustubha gem to him, thinking that it is a part of their own gems. So this also is described in the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And also, it is described how Kāliya said that Kāliya told Krishna also that sometimes if Garuda is not present to transport you, then I will be available to do this service. So Kāliya is offering that he would also like to be the personal carrier of Krishna when Garuda is not present. So it is said that when Kamsa ordered Krishna to come to Mathura, no, so when Krishna went from Vrindavan to Mathura in some kalpa, then he goes on Kāliya. It's not in this kalpa because Srimad Bhagavatam describes that Akrura came and he took Krishna and Balaram in his chariot to Mathura. But in some kalpa, because these are pastimes that are eternally happening in different universes, no? So it is described that in some kalpa, Krishna went from Vrindavan to Mathura riding on Kāliya because Kāliya had offered this service to him. Now let's come to. Okay, Shreya, you have your hand raised.
Yes, Mataji. So I had a question. So Kāliya is a snake. So by nature, he's poisonous, right? So just because he's polluting the river of Yamuna, that's why Krishna wanted to kill him, right? Not because he was poisonous.
No, because he is offending the other residents, no? The residents of Vraj are very dear to Krishna and they are dying because he's polluting the waters and therefore Krishna interfered.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Past life of Kāliya from the Garga Samhita, Canto 2, chapter number 13. Sri Bahulasva said, after many births, even the great yogis in this world cannot attain the dust of the Lord's feet. Still, Lord Krishna placed his lotus feet directly on Kāliya's heads. What pious deeds did Kāliya, the best of snakes, do in his previous birth? This I wish to know. Please tell me, O best of divine sages. Sri Narada said, in ancient times, during the Swayambhuva Manvantara, a sage named Vedashira Muni, who was a descendant of Bhrigu Muni, performed austerities in the Vindhya hills. Then one day, a sage named Ashvashira Muni came to perform austerities at this sage's ashram. With red eyes staring at his guest, Vedashira Muni angrily spoke. Sri Vedashira said, O Brahmana, don't perform austerities in my ashram. O sage, whose wealth is austerity, is there no other place where you can happily perform austerities? Sri Narada said, when he heard Vedashira's words, Ashvashira Muni became angry. With red eyes, he spoke to the best of sages. Sri Ashvashira said, O best of sages, this place belongs to Lord Mahavishnu. It does not belong to you or me. Have not many sages already performed great austerities here? You are angry for no reason. You hiss as if you were a snake. Become a snake. You will be terrified of Garuda. Sri Vedashira said, Fool, for a slight offense you plot a great revenge. On this earth you are like a crow. Fool, become a crow. Sri Narada said, Then Lord Vishnu appeared and consoled the two sages who were now unhappy with their curses. So there is cursing and counter cursing going on between the two sages. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, You are both equally devoted to me. O sages, you are like the two arms of my body. O kings of the sages, I can make my own words false, but I do not wish to allow the words of my devotees to become false. That is my vow. O Vedashira, I will place my footprints on your head. Because of them, you will never fear Garuda. O Ashvashira, hear my words. Don't lament. Please don't lament. You will have the form of a crow and you will have transcendental knowledge. You will have yoga siddhis and the highest knowledge in the three worlds. Sri Narada said, after speaking these words, Lord Vishnu departed. O king, then the sage Ashvashira became the crow Bhushanda on Mount Neela. He was devoted to Lord Ramachandra. He was very powerful. He was a lamp shining on the meanings of all the scriptures. To Garuda, he recited the Ramayana. So, you may have heard of Kaga Bhushandi, the crow Bhushanda in the Ramayana. So, one sage became this crow and he participated in Ram Leela and he narrated the Ramayana, he narrated the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, and the other sage became Kāliya and he got the mercy of Kṛṣṇa. So, this is the past life. Now we have to discuss, as we always discuss, the anartha that Kāliya represents. So this is from the Kṛṣṇa Samhita by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So he explains that the Kāliya snake is the personification of malice. He polluted the Yamuna rivers, which are spiritual liquid. The Lord tortured and banished him. Kāliya's malice always pollutes the water of the Yamuna, which is the spiritual liquid of the Vaishnavas. It is everyone's duty to give up this 10th obstacle. So every anartha represents an obstacle. Every demon is representing an anartha, an obstacle in our spiritual life. And the demons that are killed by Krishna, those obstacles are removed by Krishna. And the demons that are killed by Balaram, those obstacles are removed by Balaram, by the spiritual master. So in this particular case, in the case of Kāliya, he represents the anartha of malice, of poisoning the minds of the devotees, because Kāliya was poisoning the rivers and it was affecting the residents of Raja. So he represents the anartha of poisoning the minds of the devotees, poisoning the minds of the Vaishnavas. So sometimes there are people who want to pollute the minds of the devotees and they want to bring them out of spirituality, want to bring them out of Krishna consciousness. Say that, oh, why are you performing this? This is not the age to do it. No, this you can keep for old age. Or they make fun of devotees who are practicing spirituality. So this is the anartha that Kāliya is representing, poisoning the minds of the devotees. Okay, with that, we come to the end of today's presentation by the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
जी श्री राम माता जी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, जय पताका महाराज की जय, अनंत कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम टू जय पताका महाराज, श्री कृष्णा बुक की जय। थैंक यू माता जी, कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम। हरि बोल।
Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol. Do we have any questions or comments?
Yeah, Mataji, why is Kāliya afraid of Garuda?
Oh,
Yes.
that is coming up in the next chapter. That story is narrated in the next chapter. We'll see that in the next class. Okay.
Okay, and there was a time that you said that the men's left side started twitching. What does that actually mean in our superstitious Indian world? The left side, is it?
So when
Does
the
it come
left
from some
side of the body,
explanation?
yeah, when the left side of the body twitches, then it's an indication of that something inauspicious is going to happen. It's not auspicious. So in the body of the Gopas, that was happening. The resident of Vrindavan, the left side was twitching. So it's an
But is there
inauspicious moment.
why? I mean, is there any explanation? Why is it the left side? I've always wondered actually.
Oh, I don't know why the left side. I only know that it is inauspicious. The right side is auspicious. See, the left hand also, if whenever we do anything auspicious, we always do it with our right hand, no? The left hand is considered to be unclean because we do unclean activities with the left hand.
Why is that so?
Yeah,
I mean,
so right
is there
hand
any
always.
story to that, or is it just a? Is I mean, I've heard we always do it and we
Yes,
respect it,
yes.
but we don't know why we do it. So I just wanted to know if there's any story to this. Why is it the left side always?
Yeah, no, it's always that the right side is considered auspicious for devotional activities. We chant, do everything right hand, but why right and why left, that I don't know. But I only know that yes, the right side is auspicious, left side is inauspicious. That's why we don't do things with the left hand. But why I
Thank
don't
you,
know
Mata.
why left hand, yeah, that I don't know.
We eat also with right hand.
Yes, eating and everything should be done the right hand. Worshipping the deities, everything is done the left hand. Like when we offer incense or flowers, we don't do it with the left hand.
Aarti
It's
or
like
anything.
disrespectful, no? But your question
Yeah,
is why?
we
I
all
don't
do
know
it.
why. That I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, that I thought maybe there is some explanation,
Yeah.
some maybe scientific explanation to it or something, but I mean, just said maybe there is something.
There must be
And
something. There must be, but I'm not aware of it.
yeah, and in one part you said something about Vasudeva, Sankarsana, and Niruddha. I didn't understand. This
Okay,
was
so from Krishna, these expansions that you mentioned now, they are the four quadruple expansions or the Chatuvyuha incarnations. Krishna's first expansion is Balaram. From Balaram come these four incarnations that you mentioned now. The four
oh right,
Chatuvyuha
right.
incarnations.
Yeah.
They are the names of the first Chatuvyuha or the four quadruple expansion. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
You're welcome.
Mataji, I have a question.
Yes.
Mataji, when you said that the snake of the Kalia, his action was all because of malice. But that malice, how does it go into our personal explanation that it poisons our mind it goes haywire into the mode of ignorance.
See, sometimes when we are not very strong in our bhakti or when we are just about beginning in our spiritual life, no, somebody may come and brainwash us, and then we get carried away, and then we feel that, oh, because that person can succeed in poisoning our minds. And that is what Kaliya represents. Now, we know from Prabhupada Leela how when devotees were coming to Prabhupada and they wanted to surrender to Prabhupada, the parents were very much against this happening, and they would try to convince their children from not going and joining the temple, not become devotees, don't join. And they would also tell them that if you do this, then we will not give you a share in our property. So many things. So this is called poisoning the minds of the devotees. Now, if somebody is very strong in their sadhana and if somebody is convinced, then you cannot brainwash that person. But if somebody is not so strong in their sadhana and they are just about starting off their spiritual life, when somebody poisons the mind, then the person may go off track also. There are many such cases of many such incidents are there. So this is what it means. Polluting the mind in the sense that you want to take the person away from being a practicing devotee. Does that answer your question?
How would this compare with the malice of Kalia?
Because
How is it
Kaliya was poisoning the waters and he was poisoning the Brajavasis.
Mind.
No, he is poisoning the Vraja. Nobody can pollute the mind of the Vrajavasis because they are the purest of the pure devotees. But we compare. Just as how Kaliya is polluting the waters and those waters are affecting the Vrajavasis, in the same way there are people who will pollute the minds of the devotees and affect the
Okay.
devotees like that.
Okay.
That's the
Okay.
concept.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Shailesh, you have your hand raised?
Just a second.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
See, my question is here again in this chapter, Vishnu, Shiva, and Brahma are said to be incarnations of Krishna.
Yes.
So why do they become demigods then?
Because their position is temporary, they are not permanent. See, they are not plenary expansions. They are not plenary expansions. Plenary expansions means they have the same potency as Krishna. But Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, they are not plenary expansions. Again, Brahma, we have discussed, lives for 100 years. And then there is another person who's appointed as Brahma. Lord Shiva, there is a Shiva in Vaikuntha who's Sada Shiva, who is not a position of a demigod. He is in the Vaikuntha Loka, so he is eternal. But the Shiva that is an incarnation of the see, there are modes. No, we have discussed how Lord Shiva is in charge of the mode of ignorance, so he destroys. Lord Brahma is in charge of the mode of passion, so he creates, because for creation you need passion, and Lord Vishnu maintains. So he's in the mode of goodness. No. So the Shiva that is in charge of the mode of ignorance, that Shiva is not eternal. That Shiva does not have the same potency as Krishna. Okay. But the Shiva, Sada Shiva, who's in Vaikuntha Loka, he, yes, is eternal. So when these incarnations who are in charge of the three modes, they are not eternal. They are in the position of devatas. They are in the position of demigods. So how they are, actually everyone comes from Krishna, not only Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, but everyone, even the tiny ant, is coming from Krishna. Krishna is the source of everything that exists. There cannot exist anything independent of Krishna. So although they are coming from Krishna, it doesn't mean that they are eternal or they are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are devatas.
Thank you, Mother.
Thank you. You're welcome. Anything else? Okay, so we'll end today because today there is no exam. So I'll see you all next week if Krishna so sanctions. Till then, have a nice week in Krishna consciousness. But please do not forget to do the reading. The homework has to be done because who knows, we may have an exam based on the reading of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We don't know. So please do your homework before the next class. Till then, have a nice week in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare
Thank you. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Pranam.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Kotidan
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.